The Nvidia report has been released. I'm showing it to you as quickly as possible. We waited for the report's release live, and as we can see, there was a large downward candle at the very beginning, but then quite a significant rise of 4%. Currently, Nvidia's stock is trading like this. I haven't looked at the report itself yet, as it was released literally a minute ago. Therefore, I can only observe the market's reaction for now. Based on the market's reaction, we can see that the report might be positive. We can also see how the indices reacted. Similarly, there was initially a downward candle, but then there was a buyback. We'll keep observing. I think that over time, the price will undoubtedly stabilize, and the market will evaluate this report more accurately. But let's look at what's happening with the stock price. I will also definitely show the volatility and what's happening here. Let's look at the market forecast for this company, and I will definitely show you the report. We'll examine what happened and the company's results. But first, let's look at how the Nvidia stock has behaved from the very beginning. After the previous report, it was in consolidation for almost 3 months, and couldn't overcome the $960 level. There was very serious support here. We hit it almost 3 times and couldn't break through it. We closed at a maximum, and after the report, as we can see, the report acted as a catalyst. This breakout, the stock is currently moving upward. But again, we'll need to look at the trading volume of options. I think it will give us the right answer. Now let's immediately look at the volatility. As we can see, the volatility here is very, very high, but this is primarily related to the report. Of course, for such a company, this volatility is simply enormous. Considering the company is valued at over $2 trillion, it looks very strange. It's the first time I've seen such a large company, almost $2.5 trillion, have volatility of 100%. This is related to the report. Undoubtedly, it will also drop at tomorrow's opening. Let's look at the volatility smile. As we can see, for closer expiration dates, the volatility isn't very high in either direction, upward or downward. We can also ignore these dates. It would be better to look at the volatility for more distant strikes. As we see, for more distant strikes, the volatility for growth does not increase. That is, the volatility increases only in the downward direction, towards put options. Now let's look at historical and implied volatility. As we see, at this moment, historical and implied volatility are at the same levels. I always say that you can trade not only the stock but also its volatility. That is, no one can know what will happen after the report, no one at all. I always say this, no one knows where the stock will go, but you can profit from volatility. We can play on either the increase or decrease of volatility. In this video, I won't explain how to do this. You can watch previous videos where I demonstrate this using artificial intelligence tools that help me build strategies. If I were to do this now, the video would be even longer. And we also need to examine the report itself. Let's look at the options trading volume. As we can see, the volumes are simply huge. For instance, we see a very, very large volume at the $950 level. This was an impenetrable wall, $950. This volume was very difficult to break through, and we couldn't do it. After the report, this level was broken. The next level is $1,000. However, the $1,000 level is actually even more significant than the $950 level. So I can speculate. I don't even know what came out in the report, as I haven't looked at it yet, but I can speculate that the stock will not break and go past $1,000. Again, this is purely hypothetical based on the options market. We also see very significant support levels for put options at $900 and $800. These levels prevent the price from falling too much. But I also remind you that during market closure, these support levels do not work. That's why the price passed all these levels so easily. As we saw, the price initially dropped significantly, then began to rise sharply because at that moment, the derivatives and options market was closed. Yes, the stock itself was trading, but the derivatives market was closed. We will be able to judge what actually happened tomorrow. Yes, the stock might rise significantly in the morning trades, but after the options market opens, I think the price will not be able to break through all these levels that I showed, $1,000 and possibly $950. We might also drop down. As we can see, during this period, the stock starts to decline. I fully expect that in a couple of hours of trading, the stock will drop. I will go to the official website with you, just a few minutes after the report. Let's take a look. As we can see, the website isn't displaying anything. This is likely due to the massive influx of people and investors wanting to see the report. We will get some information. Let's first look at what we can see. Data centers have shown very significant growth, increasing by $4 billion. Data centers continue to grow without slowing down. Next, we have the gaming business. The gaming business has actually shrunk. As we can see, for the previous 2 quarters, it was stagnant, and now there is a reduction. We used to have a more significant focus on the gaming business, while data centers were almost ignored. But in 2023, data centers started growing and have increased nearly tenfold. This is very significant. Professional visualization is roughly steady, with not very high earnings. The automotive segment is growing slightly, but earnings here are also not very high. Other revenues remain roughly at the same level. All this, except for data centers, is within the margin of error. In the previous quarter, the company earned $22 billion. In this quarter, it is $26 billion. This $4 billion increase indeed came from the growth in data centers. In any case, this is very solid growth. Let's look at the stock. So far, the increase is 2.5%. After viewing this information, I will try to get more specific details. We can look at a more detailed report. I will try to review it now and briefly provide all the information contained here because I don't see any point in reading absolutely everything. Nvidia experienced a remarkable revenue growth, reaching $26.0 billion, a substantial 262% increase from the previous year and an 18% sequential increase. This surge was primarily driven by strong performance in the data center segment, which saw a record revenue increase of 427% year-over-year. The company reported significant growth in operating income, reaching $16.9 billion, up 628% year-over-year. These figures reflect the company's effective cost management and revenue generation strategies. The data center segment emerged as a key revenue driver, with substantial growth in compute revenue driven by the Nvidia Hopper GPU computing platform. The segment's revenue increase was attributed to higher shipments and strong growth in InfiniBand solutions. While gaming revenue increased by 18% year-over-year, there was a sequential decrease due to seasonal factors. Professional visualization revenue saw a significant year-on-year increase of 45%, driven by higher sell-in to partners. The automotive segment witnessed a year-on-year revenue increase of 11%, primarily fueled by self-driving platforms. Sequentially, the segment saw a 17% revenue growth driven by AI cockpit solutions. Nvidia announced a 10-for-1 forward stock split to enhance stock ownership accessibility. Additionally, the company increased its quarterly cash dividend by 150%, demonstrating a commitment to shareholder value. The company provided a positive outlook for the second quarter of fiscal 2025, with revenue expected to be $28.0 billion. Gross margins are projected to be in the mid-70% range for the full year, reflecting confidence in sustained profitability. Nvidia highlighted potential risks and uncertainties in its forward-looking statements, emphasizing factors such as global economic conditions, technological developments, and market acceptance. The company remains cautious about external factors that could impact future performance. Here I have tried to summarize what was in the report. Again, I'm doing this as quickly as possible, literally during the trading of this stock. Let's still see what's happening here. As a result, the stock stopped at $970 and hasn't moved anywhere, increasing by 2%. Well, the continued growth is very significant and inspires optimism. There's nothing more to say. This is, of course, very serious. The question is whether it will break through this consolidation or not. Before answering that, I want to show you the market forecast. What does the market predict? Yes, again, this might include some information not yet accounted for in the report, but anyway, as we can see for August, the market expects the stock to decrease to around $850 to $860. We'll need to look at tomorrow's information. Again, yes, after the report, the stock seemed to rise, but the market predicts that it will actually fall. I wouldn't advise you to argue with this because arguing with the market is not the best idea. During after-hours trading, the stock can rise by 5 to 10%. But the most important thing is what will happen tomorrow, because after the options market opens, a completely different situation will begin. And yes, I want to say that even with such a large increase in profits and revenue, the company becomes very expensive. If we assume that Nvidia's stock will continue to grow at the same pace, then of course there are no questions. Again, I don't want to say that this is a bad stock. In my opinion, the company is currently overvalued. Yes, I agree, the report seemed very good, no question about that. But still, according to estimates, the company is overvalued. I fully expect that tomorrow, after the market opens, we might see a decline in this company. But again, as we know, this company is usually associated with reports, meaning after the report, we see some growth and movement. The last report, for example, at the end of 2023, led to very strong growth. After the report in February 2024, we almost immediately saw consolidation. So this report can indeed set the pace for the growth or decline of this stock. However, considering how much the stock has already grown, I don't think the stock will continue to rise very strongly. I fully expect that there could be further consolidation until the next report, and then a correction might occur. I try to look at things realistically and understand that the company is very overvalued. Of course, I would like to buy it at lower prices. But again, this is just my opinion. The market is also predicting a decline for this company. Additionally, I remind you that after I get monetization, I will start a completely new portfolio from scratch. I received the monetization approval today. Therefore, within a week, I will record a video where I will discuss the stocks I will be tracking, how it will work, and whether I will buy this stock or not. You will see if I decide to buy Nvidia or not. Make sure to watch because the experiment will start very soon. I'm sure many have been waiting for this for a long time. I have also been eager to start this experiment as soon as possible, and we will begin very soon. So subscribe so you don't miss the start of the new experiment. Good luck to everyone.